everybody. I thought I would talk to you today about your confidence as a dance studio business owner because bizarrely, I often find that we dance bosses are not always the best at putting ourselves out there on the front line on the stage. Like we're actually happier back in the wings somewhere hiding and letting our kids shine and our adults take center stage. And you would be amazed at the number of dance school owners that I have to drag kicking and screaming. I mean, I don't literally, but I have to, let's say, encourage them um, firmly to just be a little bit bolder with putting themselves out there. So, for example, do you know how many dance bosses do not have their photo on their website? Is that you? Are you doing your ironing right now, thinking, that's me? Or maybe it's not a great photo. Perhaps you haven't had some beautiful professional shots done of you and all your team, and the photo of you is you like 10 years ago at a family picnic. Like, do you proudly put yourself out there with your best foot forward? And actually, going back to, having professional shots, this really is, I feel, an investment, something that's worth doing. Because when people land on your website or they come across your picture, your face, people, as human beings, we make a lot of assumptions. We judge a lot of books by their cover, and in particular by the warmth and the connection that we feel from a photo. So if you've got a picture, a lovely, smiley, happy, warm, friendly picture of you looking your best and looking inviting and looking confident, this really does set you up as the beautiful boss that you are. And I know you all are. You just sometimes, some of you I know struggle to really want to embrace that. And so the first thing I would say is get some shots done. Like, I know some of you organize professional photo shoots for your kids, but you don't think necessarily to do it for you and your team. And honestly, it's the first thing people look at, like, who is going to be teaching my child? What does the principal look like? Like, people are nosy. They want to know, they want to feel that strong connection. And I find when I go on people's websites, I find it incredibly frustrating when I can't find those photos because it just leaves me wondering, it leaves doubt. Oh, are these people firm? Are they strict? Do they look scary? Or are they warm and friendly and inviting? Like, we want to know this stuff, and we get that from photos, from images. Now, I'd love to take it one step further and say, don't even hide in the About Us page or in the faculty information. Like, as the owner, I would really love to see your photo on the home page. And the way you can do it is you can make it look like a really inviting little personal message. So you might have a little photo of you, even better if you are in some kind of, dance wear looking outfit. I'm not saying you have to be in leotard and tights. Goodness, God forbid. If you look like I do in my 50s, you wouldn't want to be doing that. But maybe you can, have a picture as you would be dressed fairly smartly if you were teaching. And, it could be with you standing up against a ballet bar or, somewhere that looks like you're in a studio type environment. So people really connect with that. And then you can have a lovely little warm message. And in that message, you can have all your keywords and your Google words that you need for your SEO so that people can find you. But it can look like a little personal written love letter to your potential clients, to the browsers, the customers that have landed on your page. You can even sign it off with a little signature, something that looks like handwriting font, all the best. And then, your, however you want to be known in your business, Miss Allison or Mrs. Laws. It's just a really lovely setup. It's a really great place to start when people land on your page. So I know that's pretty scary for most of you, and some of you might be cringing at me right now. But, I'd love you to just think about it. I'd love you to maybe plan this for the future. And in fact, a great time to be doing these photos and these headshots is when you've got your recitals or your shows or your concerts, because whilst you've got a professional photographer there, maybe just stay back at the end or arrive early and get some shots of you and your team. Like, it looks really professional if all of your teachers are in professionally shot photos. So they're all standing in the same place, or there's the same backdrop. Maybe they're all in one of your company t-shirts, or perhaps you've asked them to all wear a black top. It doesn't really matter, so long as they just all look like they're all part of your organization. So often we have a picture of, Miss Sarah outside, I don't know, the Paris Royal Opera House, and then you have Miss Jodie, who's clearly kind of standing up against her lounge wall, and like all in different clothes, different grains, different quality photos, different backgrounds, and it just looks a little bit amateur, to say it in a nice way. So utilizing a photo shoot that you might have set up, maybe you're after some new professional photos for your website, or as I said, maybe it's an exam day or a show day and you've got a professional photographer there, or maybe you're going to do this specially. Like, you could turn it into a really fun event, couldn't you, for your team? It could be, come along, you could hire a hairstylist and a makeup artist, and you could say, come along and we're going to have a whole day having a little bit of fun. We're going to get our photos done and have some styling. You could get some great shots of you with all your teachers. A great way to do this is to give them like a couple of clothing themes. So I did this with my team on a lovely retreat day, bonding day that we did. And I asked them to all bring jeans and a white top. And we just had some great pictures of us in our denims, all sitting we're actually all sitting on a bar in a beautiful hotel. We were kind of all sat across the bar, and we've all got our picture arms around each other, but we all kind of are wearing something similar. So it looked quite, quite smart. It just really looked really smart. So I'd love you to think about that in terms of the visibility of you and your teachers on your website. But then also, where else do you show up? Like, I'm pretty sure if I was to click on any of your websites or your Facebook groups or your Instagram, that there would be pictures of your kids galore, like pictures at competitions, pictures of them in their costumes, pictures ready to walk into exams, pictures in class. Like, we showcase our kids and our students all the time. And this is great. I mean, this is important that we do this. But we need to see you too. Honestly, we really, really do. I know you're like, well, what, Deborah, why? Who wants to see me? You are the leader. It is all about you. It's your school that comes from your heart, your passion, your desire, your hard work. And people want to feel like that you are there in front of them as part of it. And so posting posts about what you're up to, what you've been doing, what you've done in the past, like professionally, like teaching your families and students about your awesomeness, like your qualifications, the things that you've done, the professional performances you've been in. Like, you guys are awesome. You have worked so incredibly hard to get to where you are. There's things to be celebrated and shouted about. But instead of keeping them to ourselves, because we don't like to boast, it's really going to benefit your business if you can be just a little bit bolder. You don't have to become a big head. You don't have to become arrogant. Like, I know this podcast is going out all over the world, but I know also that as UK residents, we are somewhat thought of as being a little bit reserved in this country. Like, we don't like to be bold and brash and in your face. And so we do tend to be, a little less confident in coming forwards. And this is what I'm saying. You don't have to shove yourself in people's faces, but there's a difference between hiding and nobody seeing you and nobody really feeling a connection with the leader and just being a big show off. And what I'm saying is, we need to get a balance. We need to kind of find a comfy place in there where you can sit. Are you looking to get precious time back in your life so you can make more time doing the things you love? DanceBiz is a class management and booking software from the lovely folk at Think Smart that will automate and streamline all your dance school admin. It's the perfect tool for all those tasks that just seem to take so long and will help you to work smarter, not harder. Message me today, folks, and I can give you a code so you can get 2 months free. So maybe you can do some posts about yourself and what you've done and your team. So it doesn't have to be just about you. If you've got other teachers, you can put stuff about you in amongst all the stuff about them. So you could maybe create a patterned post that goes out, for example, every Monday. I used to call mine Meet the Team Monday or Meet Mondays. And it used to be, every week I do something different about our teachers and just tell everybody how great they are and what they've done. And of course they were on at the weekend, or a show they've just been to see and how it inspires them with their choreography, and then stuff about me from time to time. Like, you can actually create a scheduled kind of strategy. But the other thing you can do in terms of your social media is to show up and do some Facebook Lives, like talk about what's happening in the school. What are you proud of? What has been going well? Maybe you have something like a star of the week or success story of the week. So, maybe you talk about that in your Facebook Live. Maybe you use the Facebook Live to talk about some of your beliefs and some of the things that dance brings to kids' lives or adults' lives. Maybe you've got an event coming up. Like, there are so many things that you could talk about on a Facebook Live. In fact, I created, in fact, I'm going to let you have this. I created a free PDF that you could download, which was called 70 Ideas for Facebook Lives for Dance Studio Owners. Would you like it? I'm happy for you to have it if you'd like it. I will put the link to this in my show notes. And then there is no excuse. You can't turn around and say to me, I did a Facebook Live, Deborah, but I've done it now, so I don't need to do it for another year because I can't think of anything else to say. Like, this should be happening on a weekly basis. And if you've got 70 ideas, that's going to last you a while. That's going to last you some time. So there's no excuse now because you don't know what to talk about. One of the things that you get, which is great from doing Facebook Lives, of course, is better algorithms. More people will see it. Other people from other groups might see it. Like, it's great for advertising and marketing purposes, but it's also great for keeping the connections with your current students and families. And there's actually a really poignant, important reason for this. It's not just so that you're keeping those relationships going and building upon relationships. It's also because, there is the potential. This happens in business, and it's happened to me not once, not twice, but 3 times. You may have a dance teacher that has very strong connections with your kids, like a fabulous teacher, and the parents feel incredibly loyal to that teacher, the child or the adults love that teacher, and then they decide that it's time to flee the nest and set up their own business. Now, hopefully they do this far enough away that it doesn't create a conflict in your relationship and your businesses. But if they don't, if they set up, and it could happen right on your doorstep, I have had this happen to me, but if it does happen, the first thing you're going to do is start panicking. Oh my God, all the kids are going to go and leave and go to Miss Joe's classes down the road. Well, if they feel an incredible bond and loyalty to Miss Joe and not to Miss Deborah, then yeah, that could happen. It's a real potential risk. But if they love all your teachers, but their real loyalty is with you, they love you to bits, they love what you've built, they love what you've created, they love the opportunities that you give them, they love the way that you nurture them, they love the way that although you may not teach every single class, you're always there in the background or in the forefront. You're there on Facebook Lives, like the parents see you every week, they know what's going on in your life. Like I'm not saying necessarily personal life, I'm just saying that you're always there, you're always around. And when people feel that bond with you, they are way less likely to go and follow Miss Joe down the road if she goes and starts up classes in competition. So it's there's a lot of reasons, a lot of really important reasons why putting yourself out there and being more visible in front of your current students and parents is a really important thing for you to do, as well as it just being like a marketing type thing. It's got kind of several prongs to the reason behind it. So those of you that were listening today, rolling your eyes at me, I know, I can see you. No, I'm just joking. Maybe you're inwardly churning and thinking, oh God, this just all sounds so horrible. Like, I don't want to do Facebook Lives. I don't want to do posts about me. I don't want to be on my website. Definitely not on the homepage. Like, if this brings up some resistance in you, then I want you to think to yourself, this is not about how I feel about me. This is about me wanting to grow my business and have a more successful business, because the more I grow it and the more successful it is, the more grown-up humans and little humans I get to teach. And as we know, the more people you get to teach, the more you get to share your love and your passion and the art that is dance. So I kind of urge you to look at it in terms of, you have a duty. You have a duty to show up and be brave and be a little bit more confident and a little bit bolder and put yourself out there. Because if you don't, then it is going to impact the type of business that you have and you run. And potentially that means that there's a lot of little people and big people out there that may never connect with you. So do it for the good of the do it for the good of the world. Find that little bit of confidence in yourself, and maybe after this podcast today, set yourself a few deadlines and a little bit of a plan as to what you can do to show up as the principal, as the director, as the studio owner, that just puts yourself out there a little bit more and helps with your vision for your dream school. I look forward to chatting to you soon.